Tonight, you'll get to know Casey DeSantis. She's been called her husband's secret weapon. She's an award-winning journalist, once champion equestrian, and hopes to become the next First Lady of Florida.
Who is Ron DeSantis?
During the political season, we all expect things to heat up.
Dangerous DeSantis?
Ads get naked.
In Tallahassee.
Everyone knows my husband Ron DeSantis,
and some
endorsed by President Trump,
take a seemingly odd turn. Your reaction when you saw the direction they were going in, what were you thinking?
Are you talking
with
about
the building blocks? And really, you know what I'm talking about.
Got a lot of attention.
People say Ron's all Trump.
Casey DeSantis and her children took center stage in an ad that gained attention and criticism.
He reads stories.
Mason's 6 months, Madison nearly 2, reading a Make America Great Again book, and with blogs building a wall supporting President Trump's agenda as the president puts his support behind Ron DeSantis.
You have to look at it in perspective, too. There was 17, I think it was 17, I can say millions of dollars in negative attack ads against Ron, special interests. And so that was kind of where we were. And we said, well, how do we respond? We responded with humor, and we had fun, and I think a lot of people liked it, and they got the joke.
First Coast Living's Casey Black DeSantis took the trip to Washington.
No stranger to the spotlight. For years, that smile graced local airwaves in Jacksonville.
There's a four-way tie at the top.
DeSantis hosted shows on the PGA Tour and at First Coast Living.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Her entrance into television news was a detour for this College of Charleston grad who majored in economics and minored in French. Were your parents a little disappointed? Like, what are you doing?
I think they had that look. They were like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like you have the, because I was also interning at Merrill Lynch, and they're like, okay, you know, that's a great job. Why didn't you just go down that road?
Raised in Troy, Ohio, was television news that brought Casey to the River City, and a game of golf that landed her in Ron DeSantis' sights.
We met at the University of North Florida at the driving range. So I kept looking over my shoulder because I wanted, you know, the bucket of balls that somebody had left because my swing was so terrible, right? Like I needed as much practice as I could possibly get. Well, as I'm looking over behind me, Ron's over there. And so he thinks I'm looking at him, right? Well, I was really looking at the balls. Anyway, long story short, we started talking, and that's how we met.
Was there an attraction at all to him?
Yeah, of course, he was cute.
She lights up talking about her Navy man and recalls the day she feared losing him.
5 people were shot.
I was here at the station that morning when I look up and I see our news covering a congressional baseball shooting, and I knew that my husband was there.
Yeah, that moment, what happened?
I don't think you can put words to what that does. I mean, you know, that's your husband. I mean, that's your family, and you think about something like that happening. It just, it was beyond words to describe. It was one of the most difficult days of my life.
She's had many proud moments by his side, supporting his dreams, and says he in turn has done the same.
Very supportive of my career. He's always been a guy who's been pushing me in the right direction to succeed, and I think that's really special.
Casey, let's go behind the scenes a little bit and tell us about Ron at home. I can't see him changing diapers. I just can't.
Well, I'm not going to say like I'm way better at it because, you know, sometimes, you know, if it's not done correctly, it could be a little bit of a disaster, right? So, but no, he does a good job. Actually, he does a good job. So I'm actually very appreciative of the help that I get when he gets a chance to be home.
Life on the campaign trail has been hectic with 2 kids in tow, but DeSantis says she's learning firsthand about issues affecting Floridians, such as the toxic algae crisis.
When I hear stories of mothers saying that they don't want their kids to swim in the water because they're afraid of what can happen to them, or worse yet, my child went into the water and I wound up in the emergency room the next day. To me, that's not okay. That's not Florida. We have to fix this problem, and I know that Ron is very committed to fixing it, and so am I.